Right, good evening, everyone. We return. JFT, it's been a little while now, but
We are
there
back.
hasn't been too much going on, and we've been ill, and there's this, that, and the other. Unfortunately, Liam Tully can't be here tonight, but we thought we'd return. We've got a good weekend of boxing coming up now, so good to have you, mate, as always. How's things your way?
Thank you, man. Yeah, I'm good, thank you. I think life's gotten at us recently. I've had the flu, you've had the flu, we've had work, we've had other commitments, but look, we're back. But to be fair, like you said, we've not missed much, really. There's been little sprinklings of fights and a bit of MMA, but in terms of boxing, which we are predominantly, boxing channel, even though we do cover a plethora of fight sports, I think we're coming back now into the good period in the lead up to the end of the year. I think it's the best quarter of the year, hopefully.
Yeah, I think so. We had a little slice, like you said, in September, didn't we? I think we last covered before everyone dropped down with the flu, James DeGale in
Yes.
BKFC. So I think that's kind of where it's been at for the last couple of weeks. But we've got a good week coming up this week. We've got Boots moving up to 154 in America. And you've got Dave Allen versus Makhmudov as the heavyweight main event in the Sheffield Arena. So I guess we'll start with Dave Allen. Obviously, there's been a big news story this week that we'll cover later on as well, with Ben Whittaker moving to Matchroom.
Show me the
money, as Jerry Maguire would say. Yeah, Alan Makhmudov. I think 18 months ago, mate, this fight would have been, no one would have given Dave Allen a hope, and now it's good as a 50-50 as according to the bookmakers heading into Saturday night. I made Makhmudov a slight favourite. Yes, Pat, thanks for joining us as always, my friend.
Evening, Pat.
Well, in Sweden. I made Makhmudov a slight favourite, but the fact that Dave's in with a chance, that I guess shows his improvements. Obviously, Makhmudov lost to Cabiel, he lost to Guido Vianello, who's actually out on the Ennis undercard on Saturday as well.
Yeah.
Dave was out in the wilderness, wasn't he, mate, for a bit? Then he's come back with the 2 Johnny Fisher fights. He won both of them, but he only got, he won the second one in spectacular fashion. He got done a bit on the cards, I think, in Saudi the first time around. But that's a big step up in my book from Johnny Fisher
big jump
to Arslanbek Makhmudov. So yeah, we probably won't get a chance to do any prediction shows or anything this week, so feel free to give your analysis breakdown, anything you want to talk about. There's Padley versus Bellotti in the co-main slot as well in Sheffield. So yeah, just give it. Yeah, it's a good fight, that one.
As you said, 18 months ago, Makhmudov was the next big thing, the great Russian hope, and Dave Allen was doing what Dave Allen does, not a lot, but regardless of whether it was, and I say this with the utmost respect to Johnny Fisher, I say it was only Johnny Fisher. The first one, Dave Allen practically rolled off the sofa. The second one, he trained a little bit harder.
Yeah.
What pisses me off about Dave Allen is he's a world-class talent. He's tough as all boots. But
nails.
Irrespective of how successful he is in the next couple of years, I always feel that David Allen will be one of those guys sat at the end of the bar talking about what he could have done. He'll never fulfill his potential.
I'd have done this, I'd have been this.
And that could be true. Dave is, he's mixed in some of the highest camps, Usyk, Fury, and I don't mean he's dipped his toe in and being a sparring partner. He was part of Tyson Fury's original camp with, Joe Parker and the likes. And, he gets flown out. His boxing ability is very underestimated. He was a very good polished amateur. He's just a lazy and I don't think he likes boxing. I don't think he really likes it. So unless he's...
I actually think he likes boxing. I think he hates training.
That's what I mean. What goes around, everything that goes around it. Yeah. So he finds it very hard to tick over. So he just goes really out of condition, and then it's difficult for him to motivate himself, especially when he doesn't see a challenge at the opposite corner of the ring. I think with Makhmudov, I know we've seen frailties in him, and I take the piss out of him, and I call him David Pricey. And that's purely because he's white and 6 foot, God knows what. That's the only similarity, right? But we've seen vulnerabilities, and I go back to the Dave Allen, Nick Webb. Not because Webb's similar to Makhmudov, but I think that's his best chance of winning, is standing right in front of him, looking for a looping shot, a bit like Chisora catches him over the top because he's 3 or 4 inches tall. I mean, Allen's taller than he looks.
Yeah, he's a big
I think Allen's 6'4", you know.
Yeah, Allen's deceptively.
But there comes a point where you can't use your face as your defence. Who else were like that? Do you remember John Murray when he boxed Brandon Rios? Horrific.
Yeah.
Just took punches until his body just couldn't physically take them. Dave Allen will get knocked out if he uses that tactic. He's going to have to be a little bit cuter with his defences, I feel, because Makhmudov can box as well as fight, but he is vulnerable to the chin, and I believe Dave Allen has the better chin. Makhmudov will start the slight favourite.
Without question, Allen's got. He's
probably got one of the best chins in heavyweight boxing, to be honest.
Oh yeah, unquestionably, he's tough as old boots.
But
like you said before.
How many times has he told us before that he's in the best shape and he's prepared? He looks in half decent nick, and seeing his underwear shoot makes me feel better about seeing myself in the mirror. There's chance for me to be a model yet if Dave Allen's doing Calvin Klein. I'm available.
And I was expecting an 8-pack and all these big
belly hanging over his pants and that. Calvin Klein, JFT's available. But as we said about 18 months ago, I would have dismissed this fight 18 months ago when I'm actually looking forward to watching it. It's a decent card.
Yeah, it could be chaotic.
Like you said, it could be chaotic, but I will say that I've picked Dave Allen to win by TKO stoppage, and I've said that from the past few months. I think Dave Allen will get to him. The back end, is it a 12?
I'd imagine it will be
some kind of WBA.
They tend to do the main events as 12s. I actually don't know, but they do.
Well, Dave Allen had that WBA thing over his shoulder, so I'm assuming they're fighting for that international, interglobal something.
Yeah, he does look in better nick, Pat.
Absolutely,
You just said, yeah. I'm on the other side of the fence. To be honest, I would lean Makhmudov, but like it's a lean. Like I genuinely think it is as good as a 50-50 fight. Look, the pedigree comes with Makhmudov, but like you said, if it's tough and if it's going to be mano a mano, if it's a gut check kind of fight, then you favour Allen because he's about it. When he gets in there, he turns into a different guy. He's a laid back guy, the most relaxed.
He does.
Out, lovely man, you and me, but he turns into a different. See that finish on Johnny Fisher?
Brutal. Do you know the only thing that concerns me with David Price now is when it starts to go against him, he sort of capitulates. Have you noticed? And he just sort of gives up. He did it with Fraser Clark. He just You'd
like to think he's in a different place to the Fraser Clark fight.
I really would, and I hope so.
This is his chance now. Like he said, this is Eddie's saying, you can earn 7-figure paydays. He's going to be put into either a Wilder or a Joshua kind of fight after this because Dave Allen does huge numbers on
I'll
social
say
media.
This now, if he fights Joshua, Dave Allen knocks Joshua out. I'm telling you now, he will knock Joshua unconscious.
Funny thing is, it's not that much of a far.
To be fair, I fancy my own chances of knocking Joshua out these days.
Thanks, Boxing Wiz, for joining us. Literally, we've just both said completely opposite. So Jay thinks Dave Allen will win. I think Makhmudov will win.
Back the draw.
Yeah, but we're both, it's
draw.
There you go, plus 104 versus minus 130. Jay, I'm no mathematician, but I know they're pretty much bang even.
Pick them that, So I think I might.
Well, I think
on the draw.
Even money plus 104, pretty much, isn't it? So look, it sounds about right. But for me, my money personally would be Makhmudov. But for you, yours would. I think we'll know early on within a few rounds because if it's a shootout, then
is it how Makhmudov
probably favors Allen? But Makhmudov's a better boxer.
Absolutely, and Makhmudov could win a wide points decision, but it's
probably the heavier-handed.
But it's how he takes the shot from Allen. We know Allen will take his shot unless he catches Allen unaware.
Doesn't like it to the body, Makhmudov either. Cabiel, wasn't it? Who just
I'm intrigued to see how he holds a shot when he gets clapped on chin. Whether he capitulates himself. I think Dave Allen could get frustrated if he starts to lose a boxing match and will turn it into a scrap. I think Dave Allen's probably going to lose.
Well, that's the way to beat Allen, isn't it? Even when Pricey fought Allen, he just kind of boxed him. I don't know if he quit or
you just stay at range. I know it's easier said than done. It's easy for me saying it sat in my living room, but if he could keep him at range, I think Dave then has to go chase him. But I could see Dave Allen being 4 or 5 rounds down, going into 5 or 6. I could see that. But managing to get over that hump and get close to him, and I think that's what'll do it for me down the stretch. But obviously we've got differing opinions on who'll win. But I think we're in for a good fight, regardless of the result.
Oh yeah, I think it'll be a good. Yeah, but bodywork will be key if Allen wants to win. Pat, I'm with you there. You got Boston Fawaz 2 on the undercard, but the co-main is going to be Padley against Bellotti. Bellotti's just coming off that Ryan Garner fight about 10 weeks ago. He took a bit of a slacking in that one. He was stopped in the last round. Josh Padley obviously fought Shakur, then he had his first one with Eddie Hearn, got a 5th round TKO. I mean, personally for me, I would favour Padley, just based on the fact that Bellotti's been in a lot of wars, great fighter and hits a lot harder than Padley, it has to be said, but he's quite a smart
sharp,
boxer. Josh Padley,
very sharp.
He is sharp, yeah. I think, I hope I'm wrong. I can't see it being like a classic, but if it is, Bellotti's going to have to, up his game a little bit from what happened with Garner. I thought Garner he completely shut him out.
Yeah, but Bellotti, for me, doesn't beat Padley in a boxing match. He might be able to beat him in a fight, but he's not beating him in a boxing match. I know that sounds daft, but technically, Padley's better than him. I think, as you said, Bellotti has the harder punch, the harder hands, but I think Padley edges him in speed. I think his feet are better.
Yeah.
His range, his management of range is really good. There were points in that Shakur Stevenson fight that Padley was having it with him, and wasn't getting outclassed until he got stopped. He was in that fight to a degree. What it is with Bellotti is he got written off, and then he had the resurgence. To
be fair, you look at Bellotti, fought like Ray Ford, Jordan Gill, like it was a decent run of opponents. He was losing at the time. It didn't look great.
What I'm saying is he had the resurgence and then lost against Garner. It's what has Bellotti got left? Was that the end of the resurgence, or did he just get beat by the better man on the day and he'll be at that level again? I believe that Reece Bellotti has to be near his best if Josh Padley's near his best, because I think Padley sort of edges him in a lot of departments, and I don't see it being a classic. I think we'll probably see a UD for Padley.
You favour a Padley decision, wouldn't you? That would be the more likely picking out one. Big up Lloyd, thanks for joining us, mate. I think Makhmudov will stop him.
And I think Allen stops Makhmudov. So we're
both on the opposite side. Here, Boxing Wiz agreeing with Jay. I think Makhmudov is too sloppy. My opinion, Vianello closed his eye. Look what Richard Torres did to Guido. Yeah, I did see that. Chilltown TJ's in the building. Hope you're well, my man.
Have you just bought yourself a purple car, TJ? Or have you been hacked?
Might be on an island here, but I think this fight can be sloppy and go the distance. Yeah, look, that obviously distance wouldn't surprise me. The Dave's mightily tough.
I think Makhmudov
could potentially try and box his way through.
I think it'll start good, and I think Makhmudov will keep his shape, and as I said, could be 4 or 5 rounds in front on boxing, but I think that's where Dave Allen then will make it into a dogfight, and that's when it'll become sloppy, and I see Dave Allen getting on top. Makhmudov's gas tank's not the best either. Like you said, he hates it to the body.
That's a fact. Yeah, he's moving on from that, mate. Matchroom's second show then, they've got Boots against Lima in Philly at the Wells Fargo. Boots returning back to his hometown. It's for the vacant interim WBC Super Welterweight Championship. No idea why it's on the line, to be fair. Barao just beat Yonis Tellez for the same belt, I think, and then he's been elevated because Crawford was the WBA champion one, and now he's undisputed as super middle, so he's vacated. It's just WBA bollocks, nonsense, isn't it, really, to be honest?
Absolute bollocks.
And his chance then to become interim champion and be mandated to fight Brother, which he more than likely win to become world champion. I've heard he's going to call out Virgil Ortiz and Crawford and all this on the phone. I just watched something before. Look, Lima's only lost to Aaron McKenna. We saw how supremely talented he is against Beefy, didn't we? On the Eubank Ben first night. He's a good fighter, McKenna. So yeah, I mean, seen much of Lima, because there's two sides of the divide with Lima. There's the people saying, really, unknown quantity, great fighter who's going to really stick it on Boots. And you got Dan Raphael and people like that saying absolute joke of a matchup. So where do you sit in that?
I've seen a couple of his fights, but I wouldn't say that I know.
Do you watch the McKenna fight?
Yeah. The problem for me is, as good as McKenna is, he's not on the level of Boots Ennis yet. I don't believe he's as good as Boots Ennis. He's good. So it's not really a gauge for me. I think if the Lima that lost to McKenna turns up, Ennis will stop him in less than 5 rounds. But he's obviously going to have improved. I don't agree with Dan Raphael. I think Dan Raphael's a bit of a shill sometimes and says things for controversy or ass-kissing certain individuals that work for certain promoters. So I wouldn't call it a joke of a matchup. It's not a fight that anybody was clambering to see. But Lima's got it based on his record and his abilities. So
he's fighting. So Ortiz is fighting Lubin, isn't he? Soon, Erickson Lubin. It's like Boots is fighting Lima. They're on a collision course per se. That again, it's these semi-finals, and I don't expect Ortiz or Boots to lose. But it's about time that Boots
had a proper
I know
fight.
The Stanionis win was a good win, wasn't it?
But
to be fair,
a real fight.
He needs a big name as much as a big result. Stanionis was undefeated, but no one outside of hardcore boxing fans knew much about Stanionis. If Eddie's going to make him the star that he says he's going to be, look, he does big numbers in Philly. We did 13,000 for Avanesian, and so on. So like he's got the ability. He's everything about him screams that he should be one of the top US stars in boxing, but he's not got the opponents on the record.
No, I think Eddie Hearn needs to do what Eddie Hearn's supposedly one of the best in the business at doing, and make some decent fights. Because for me, Ennis is sort of wasting his best years just treading water. His career's sort of
was it Avanesian, Karen 2, Stanionis, then Lima as his last 4, as he's pretty much in his
That's what I mean. Now's the time.
He's 28.
Now is the time.
Off the top of my head.
He runs the risk of losing a fight that he's expected to win. And, it'll be difficult to get it back if it goes. And I think Eddie Hearn needs to... There's got to be a big fight after this. It's got to be the Ortiz fight. It has to be. That's the fight people want to see. We want to see Boots in a fight where you're not sure whether he's going to win. They're the kind of fights.
Or get Murtazaliev or any of the... If there's champions that are available, I'd love to see him fight Murtazaliev. Or just because I think Ortiz is interim WBC champion. So surely he's... Fundora's fighting Thurman, isn't he? So... I mean, surely, I don't know if that matchup is, but the money fight is Virgil Ortiz against Boots. That's where the money's at, and I'm sure Oscar and Eddie.
Who would you favour in that matchup? Just asking.
Ortiz and Boots. It's a tough one. Virgil Ortiz is a dog.
I thought he lost though. Do you remember? I thought he lost, and I got fucking hammered for it.
Yeah. He can fight.
Tough as old Boots.
Virgil. I'll have a better idea after Boots has fought Lima and Ortiz fought Lubin. If I had to say right now, I would lean towards Virgil Ortiz. I would lean.
Same.
But again, let's see what Boots looks like, because I haven't seen him fight 154 yet. Maybe he's draining at 147. I don't know, but I think Bilal Fawaz could beat. And he's 3-1. Lloyd. I
can't remember, but did I not pick Bilal Fawaz? Didn't I win money on him last time?
The draw,
but I think I won on that last time. I think I got the draw. But I think Fawaz won that last fight and I think he got shit. Last time.
It was a tight one, wasn't it? Yeah, I think he's 3-1. I saw it. I think
that could be free
money.
That
Boots Ennis. Yeah, I agree with that.
Didn't Bostan get dropped by Matchroom?
I can't remember. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. Didn't he go?
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I felt like he did too.
GBM or something like that.
Yeah, no, I felt like he did too. Yeah, I did see that Boxing Wiz. To be fair, I watched the face off. Like what does Boots want Lima to do in that situation? He's earning probably 10% of what Boots is earning, and this is
stupid.
It's his career biggest payday. I hate it when they do that.
There's nothing could make me do that.
How do I pay my coach? How do I pay for my kids' food? How do I pay?
He could slip on the way to the ring and do your ankle.
Yeah.
I'm not betting my purse.
Lima's probably getting a couple of $100,000. Boots is getting a couple of mil. So
piss off, Boots, man.
It's whatever. Boots Ennis kryptonite in the division, but Ortiz Jr. take the fight. Will Ortiz? Well, they're trying to put that narrative out there, aren't they? Because Boots has signed for it apparently, and all this. I don't know. I think so as well. Boxing wise, I think Ortiz will beat Erickson Lubin. Jay, before we leave it there for a bit of a short episode, I want to ask your thoughts on Mr. Ben Whittaker.
My guy, my petrol station buddy.
Joining Matchroom, Jay's friend and long-term petrol station meet-up merchant. He's left boxer, so it's kind of.
Look,
what were we watching the other day where Ben Whittaker was sat by Eddie? One of the cards? We were watching something, and I was like, "Is that Ben Whittaker?" And
it was.
We knew it was coming.
It was Canelo Crawford, wasn't it? Wasn't he in the crowd at Canelo Crawford?
No, sorry, Paddy Donovan Crocker.
Sorry,
Donovan Crocker. Yeah.
It's a fantastic move for him promotionally. Ben Whittaker is superstar potential, right? His brand's strong. He's got the skill set. He got through the Liam Cameron debacle, and here he is. I actually just feel sorry for Mr. Shalom. I feel sorry for Ben Shalom. The vultures are circling. They're picking off everybody. It'll be bloody Azim next. Dubois, what's her name's gone? What's her bloody name? She's from Hartlepool. Savannah Marshall's gone. He's got Lawrence.
Well, Azim's re-signed, hasn't he? So he's staying. But
he has, but I believe Ben's deal hadn't come to the end. I think they've had to negotiate.
Well, Ben Shalom was saying he's getting him out in Birmingham
headlining the show in a big fight. So I feel a bit sorry for Ben Shalom, but Whittaker, it's best thing for him, man. He's going to be on the biggest platform at the moment. Sky Sports are not really involved in boxing, so he's going to be on a fantastic platform. Look at the announcement videos. Two of the funniest videos I've seen. The bloody Show Me the Money one was hilarious. And they're going to go all out.
Who do you think he'll fight, mate, in his debut? For them?
I was thinking somebody like Buatsi, but he's with Frank Warren, isn't he? So it's easy enough to make.
Yeah, no, he's not ready for Buatsi.
I'm telling you now, mate, I think they're going to throw him in. What about Willie Hutchinson?
I think they'll do Dan Aziz or Lyndon Arthur for his
Lyndon's
debut.
Fighting Brad Ray next.
Oh, sorry, yeah. Dan Aziz.
He fought in Nigeria, didn't he, last week? Did Dan Aziz?
Well, they reckon he's going to fight on the 29th of November, the 6th of December, or the 13th. So it's possible.
Willie Hutchinson, maybe? Or do you think that's too much?
Well, the Willie Hutchinson fight is the most obvious one. That should happen, which means it definitely won't.
Yeah, I agree. But look, like heavyweight's decent.
Yes, Raymond, thanks for joining us. Yeah, agree with that. There's pressure though, man, because you think about it. AJ Fury are the two biggest names now, but like they're gone, or they're basically not fighting anymore at the moment. They probably will, but look, they are what they are. But the next gap of who's the third biggest name in British boxing right now today? You
probably. And
then give me a top five. Then there's three. Who would be four and five in terms? And I don't talk about like world champions because Nick Ball's the only world champion, but Nick Ball's
not a ticket seller, is it? So if you're talking,
so you talk about profile, I'll tell you who I think they are, and this isn't like who I think are the best, or I think it'd be Conor Ben Whittaker.
Okay, I think in terms of
that they just come to the top of my head. There might be
Taylor?
anyone else on this.
She's a draw, she'll fill an arena.
Yes, yeah.
But yeah, I think you're right with Eubank and Ben Whittaker. I can't think of anybody that's on that level in terms of star power.
So it's a big sign for Matchroom because Ben Whittaker has the social media presence. People know who he is outside the boxing circles, but they're going to need their return on. And he ain't going to have been cheap for them, so they need to be careful about how, because if he puts in a Liam Cameron 1 performance against for example, Willie Hutchison or Dan Aziz or whoever it is, he will fight. Then all of a sudden that investment's looking horrific, isn't it? So it's going to be really interesting.
Do you know what? For me, though, as I said with the Cameron 2 fight, that he just walked through him, I don't think we'll see a lackluster performance again from Whittaker. I think we'll see the best of him.
He's got Andy Lee now, so, you know, he's made all the right moves.
I think we'll see the best of him, and I think he'll put on statements. I think he'll have a world title fight within the next 12 months, for me. I think he'll fight for a world title within the next 12 months.
Well, I think he's going to have it on his side that Better Be Evan Bivol will probably be rode off into the sunset by the time he's in that mix for a world title.
We could see him against Anthony Yarde in Yarde's first defence.
It could be Yarde, it could be Benavidez, it could be, you know...
Whittaker, when he knocks Benavidez out.
Yeah.
I said that with a straight face as well, just...
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, mate. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. He's either going to headline in Birmingham, which I think is the most likely, a US card, but I think Pacheco's going to headline that, and then Monaco on December the 13th. I think
Monaco cards are always shit.
Yeah, Matchroom's Christmas do. Yeah, I think they're not normally great. Apparently, this is going to be the best one ever, but we'll see about that. Lamont Roach and Pitbull faced off a couple of hours ago. Boxing Wiz says that's a
very good fight.
To be fair, I think that's a good fight. Is there anything else you want to cover off, mate?
Not really. I think we've covered it all. We're going to be doing a watch along Saturday, aren't we?
Yeah, we'll be back for a watch along first in a little while outside of Bare Knuckle for the Gale. Dave Allen versus Makhmudov. I don't think I'll have boots in me.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
We'll do that. If Padley and Bellotti is the co-main, we'll cover that as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because that could be a good one. But yeah, thanks to everyone as always for joining us. Boxing Wiz, Raymond, DJ Pat, Lloyd, Chilltown TJ, thanks for hopping in. And anyone else if I missed you, I do apologise. Jay, been a pleasure. If you haven't already, go subscribe to the Jay's Fight Talk YouTube channel. He's got all sorts going on there. Shorts, he's got Straight Talk with Liam. He's got we've got our MMA show on there as well, actually, if anybody's into
that will be back next week. Sam and Jay Talk MMA will be back next week because we've got a big UFC card. We've got Oliveira versus Gamrot from Brazil. So we'll be talking MMA next week.
We'll get stuck into that.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, absolutely.